Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach. We are meeting for another Love Circle, and I am very excited about today's topic because it's all about safety, creating safety within. There's so many things that we do out of the need to feel safe and that are detrimental to our emotional well-being and our physical well-being. So this topic is very close to my own heart. I have come from a background of always looking for safety outside of me. So today I'll be showing you guys a step-by-step process that I have implemented, that I have learned that you can walk away with, and you can create that safety within you, and you can become. So this is what happens when you create safety within you. You become a dangerous person. So what do I mean by dangerous person? No one can get to you. No circumstance, no situation can get to you. So that's what I mean by a dangerous person. So you are going to become a person that no one can manipulate you anymore. No one can control you anymore because you have that safety within you that generally we look for in other people, in other situations. So this is going to be one of the most powerful uh, training that we are going to go through. So I am so excited about it. Just give me 1 second. So this is what happens when we are on spring break and mom has to work. Okay, so let's get into it. Why do we have the need to feel safe? Why do we even have that need? It starts in our childhood. When a child is born, we are free spirit. We'll just, walk off the edge of the cliff. We don't bother what's going on, where is danger, because we are those free spirits. But then we are taught, hey, this is a dangerous world, which is important. It's important for a kid to learn that. But another thing that happens psychologically when we experience trauma in various levels, it could be extreme trauma, it could be mild trauma, it could be that a child get sexually abused, a child get physically abused, a child does not get parents' attention when they are crying, and our unconscious mind internalize that in a way, I am not safe right now. Because in those years, it's very important to feel safe because we don't know anything. We don't even know sometimes our parents' name. We don't even know our street address. We don't know anything. We don't have money. So we are very dependent on other people. We are dependent on their approval. So in those moments, when a child does go through that trauma, it internalizes and unconsciously makes sense of things in a way so they would feel safe. Because safety is more important than being healthy, being emotionally healthy. All of that doesn't matter. Safety is the most important thing. So a child is going to internalize it in a way that, I am not worthy, nobody loves me, I have to overdo things for mom and dad to be happy from me, and we create that people-pleasing behavior, and that is creating safety within us. And, sometimes we start creating safety with food. A lot of kids who, in all the conversations I have had, if the parents were working late in night and parents were not available and they were just bored, they just went to the freezer, they just took out whatever frozen food was there, fried it, baked it, and just kept eating that to feel that safety. Because we needed something to be there, someone to be there for ourselves. It could be food. In teenage years, it could have been drugs. It could have been other unhealthy friendships in our teenage years. It could be a very toxic boyfriend in our teenage years that made us feel safe. It was familiar. So think of it in terms of what a child needed to have that's familiar, and now when they are grown up, that's unhealthy. But that's what's keeping them feeling safe. So they keep attracting that, they keep having around themselves those kind of situation and circumstances. So just going to give a couple of examples so it makes sense. Let's say a child who struggled with poverty. When they were little, money was always tight, and that's how they felt. That's how they had that homey feeling. So now they're an adult, even though they are making a lot of money, they're maybe attracting a partner who's not good with money. They are maybe attracting situations where they just keep losing money. So the money struggle is still there, but for the nervous system, it's familiar. So they get to keep that. So now look at, let's take another example in terms of relationship. Let's say a child was not loved. Parents were not emotionally present, and that was safe. That felt very, very safe in that moment. So now that child is an adult and have attracted partnership where they're alone in a marriage. They're alone in that partnership, but that feels safe. Then they have a hard time leaving that as well. I've been there, done that. But it feels so safe to be there. It feels like, oh, this is familiar, because we are putting safety in that outer situation or circumstance because we don't feel safe inside. And that safety breakage happened when we did experience whatever traumatic event that we experienced. You might be coming from a very healthy childhood. You might had parents who loved you, adored you. They were always there for you. But each and every one of us have experienced our own level of trauma. It could be as little as when I cried, when I fell down in the playground and I was crying, my mom didn't rush to me. She was just standing there talking to other moms. It could be even that little, because for that tiny brain that is running just from the survival brain, because the prefrontal cortex has not developed yet under the age of 7, they internalize things very differently. And for unconscious mind, feeling safe is more important than healthy behaviors. So it gives us meaning. It creates belief to make us feel safe, but also we are dependent on other situations and other circumstances. So let's say now we are adult. We need our surrounding to be certain way for us to feel safe. We need people to be certain way around us to feel to make us feel safe. We need our friends to act certain way. We need our partner to act certain way. We start to micromanage and control people and control our situation and circumstances. We maybe need our home to be spotless for us to be able to focus. All those are situations and examples of looking for safety outside of you. When we look for safety outside of us, it creates a negative impact in terms of the potential that is within us. If I am always fixing things outside of me, I'm not focused inward. I am not using the time and energy to let my light out. I am always focused what someone else is doing, what something else is going on. That's why people get completely derailed. If there is a upheaval in politics, in general social situations and circumstances, if there's a natural disaster going on the other side of the world, because right away their senses are now focused there. Oh my God, if there was an earthquake there, oh my God, it can happen here. How am I going to feel safe? That is not how a human is created. We all came here to contribute our light. And we cannot do that if we get distracted by every little thing that moves outside of us. Our job is to stay focused inside, have our safety in there, and live from that place. So we get to contribute what we came here to do. So just to name a few negative impacts that happen when we are dependent on our safety outside of us, One is frustration. Over time, you start to get very frustrated. And as you're going towards your year 40, you start to label it as anxiety, anxiousness, or even depression. Because there's a voice within you that's saying, let me live. I am feeling suffocated here. Let me out. But then you're like, oh, but that's going to be a lot of change. I cannot handle change. I need to stay where I am right now. And of course, that takes us away from who we can be. Codependent relationships, codependent behavior. We did a whole training on it last week. That starts from the need to feel safe as well. We hold ourselves back. We don't let ourselves go big. We hold ourselves back because staying small, playing small, feel safe. Nobody can say anything to you. So it's good. So that is how it impacts us in a negative way. So now we are going to talk about two kinds of safety: physical safety, psychological safety. Physical safety is when there's a real danger, and most of us are really good at detecting that and acting on it. But psychological safety is the safety that I'm talking about. We don't feel psychologically safe within ourselves and sometimes in the surrounding that we are in. So think of a toxic relationship, whether it's at work, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your kids. When you're walking on eggshells around a person, that means there's no psychological safety for you. But the one thing that most people completely ignore is how they make themselves feel in their mind, in their internal environment. We are so toxic towards our own self that we don't psychologically feel safe within ourselves because the way we've been treating ourselves, the kind of stuff we say to ourselves in our mind, the kind of thoughts that we have against ourselves. So we are going to clean up that a little bit. So when there is a trigger and something is going on outside of you, and all of a sudden, like, you were sitting there, everything was calm, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm having this anxious feeling within me. I'm not feeling safe. It could be you just watched news and there was something that did not make you feel very comfortable. It could be you just heard that your mother-in-law is coming over and the last time you met her, it didn't go really well. Or you just got a news like, your boss is getting changed and you're like, oh my God, I have no idea who this new boss is going to be, no matter what the situation is. When there is a trigger, there is a physical response. Physically, there is a response from your nervous system because we are mind, body, spirit. We are way bigger than we think we are. So there are different levels where the safety issue is impacting us. So just a little bit about our nervous system. There's two kinds of nervous system: sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is the one that's calm, relaxed, repair happens. That is where you get to dream, you get to be in the possibilities. So think of it, you're laying on the beach, nobody's with you, no kids to worry about running into water. You're just relaxing and soaking in the sun, and you're very calm and relaxed. That is the moment when you're in parasympathetic nervous system. Repair can happen, possibilities, dreams can come to you. That is where we are supposed to be most of our time. The other one is sympathetic nervous system. That is when there is a danger, a real danger. Your mind flags, hey, there is a danger. There's somebody running after you, run. So that is when specific chemicals get released. That is when your body starts to change, your heartbeat will start to change, all the blood rushes to your hands and your feet. So if you need to run, you can run really fast. Your palms will start to get sweaty. Your breathing will start to change. That is a response where you need to run right now. That is a stress response. That is what happens when there is a trigger. Your physiology gets involved. And if you're not calming down that physiology, what end up happening, you stay stuck there. Most of us living this modern lifestyle that we are in, completely disconnected from nature, glued to our machines and our computers and our phones, and so worried about everything that is going on around us. We stay in sympathetic nervous system most of the time. Even sometime while we are sleeping, our heart rate is very high. And that is creating that unhealthy, the feeling of I am not safe within. So first, I'm going to share with you how to come back to parasympathetic nervous system. Because if you can do that, you won't be able to create psychological safety within you. Because when your body feels like you need to run and you're trying to say, hey, it's okay, your mind is not going to listen to that. Physiology always going to win because your safety is on the line. Your mind thinks there's a line running behind you right now. In reality, it's just a call from your mother-in-law. But your mind doesn't know that. The way it's tagging events and the way it's tagging triggers, that's what's happening. So there's a few things you can do. One of them is moving your awareness from here to anywhere underneath your shoulder, anywhere in your body. You can bring your awareness in your heart, in the middle of your chest, your heart chakra. You can bring your awareness at your physical heart. And you can just close your eyes and you can think about, okay, how does my heart look? How does it feel? You're trying to focus your attention here. But if you can go lower, if you can go into your stomach, or if you can go to your lower back, that would be even more powerful because that is where feminine energy lives, your lower back. You can come into your womb. How you can do that if you have no idea how to move your awareness, just take your hand and put it at your lower back as low as you can go. And now just think about how does it feel to touch that part of my skin, to touch that part of my body. When you're focusing on touching that part of body, everything changes. If you have not realized, the tone of my voice have changed as I am touching there. Because everything is shifting in my energy field right now. Just by bringing my awareness from here to here. I'm talking slower. I am thinking before I am speaking. It's all happening naturally. I am not forcing it. That is the magic. So this is something you can do. If you feel like your whole body is going like this, put your hand on your lower back. Keep it there for 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Breathe from that place. Another thing you can do, you can put your hand in the middle of your chest. What it will do, it will expand your heart chakra. When your heart energy expands, the back heart energy expands too. Whatever emotions you've been holding on to like this, the grudges from the past, they can move because the heart is open. They can move. The movement of the energy is going to be wonderful. Another cool thing that happens when the heart opens, it sends a signal to your lower brain. It shuts off and the signal goes to your higher brain prefrontal cortex and your crown chakra expands. So all of a sudden, instead of being in the fear or the worry mode where you're not feeling safe, all of a sudden, you can think of all the possibilities. You can do the next step that I'm going to share with you. You can create psychological safety within you once your heart is open and your crown is open and this part of you is activated and this part is turned off, because that is the part that's telling you run, run, run. That is the lower brain. That is all about safety. That's all about keeping you safe. Another thing you can do, you can just put your hand up. That's the beginner pose. It changes everything in your physiology. Your body thinks you just want something. Another very cool thing you can do, you can just put your, touch your skin with so much loving touch. So your skin is gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm being loved right now. Someone is touching me right now. It's going to right away bring you to parasympathetic nervous system. You can even keep a feather in your bag if you feel anxious all the time. Keep a feather in your bag and just run that feather on your skin. And it is going to take you right away from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system. So you can take either one of these techniques to get hold of your physiology, or you can implement all of them together. And first, you have to get yourself to parasympathetic nervous system. Do it if you live in a fight or flight mode, in a stress mode, in the survival mode all the time, then take out chunks of time throughout your day to just practice one of these techniques. My personal favorite one is hand on the heart or hand on my lower back. As soon as I detect something, I caught something, something got into my head, I am triggered, I don't have time to resolve the whole thing because I have to dig a little deeper. I'll put my hand on my heart or I'll put my hand on my lower back. Works like magic. And that is a power that you have available to you at any time. Now let's talk about creating psychological safety. So psychological safety gets created when you change the way you think. When you were that little child and the traumatic event happened and your unconscious mind gave it a meaning, it created a belief and it created a program in your unconscious mind that is part of the paradigm that creates your current life. And that program needs to change. That means you're used to thinking certain way. Maybe every time somebody looks at you, you just label it, oh, that person is talking about me, oh, that person is making fun of me. If someone does not return your call on time, you always tell yourself, oh, they don't care about me. So it could be any of those examples and even way more examples. That is how you think. That needs to change. So we are going to do it in 2 steps. One of them is, I want you to understand whenever you are trying to feel safe, you're trying to be in control. So it's definitely tied to being afraid of losing control. You want to be in control. You want to feel safe. So they are interchangeable. When you want to be in control, you want to feel safe. When you're trying to be safe, you want to be in control. And we do that. We want to be in control so we can feel safe. But the truth is, there is no safety. Now, this in itself can, like, you know, depending on how much of a stress mode you are in at the moment, this itself can be like, oh my God, what? I can't even hear that there's no safety. It feels too unsafe for your nervous system. So take a deep breath. What do I mean by there's no such thing as safety? Anything can happen at any point in our life. That is the truth. Whether we believe in death, we don't believe in death, every one of us is going to die. I am sitting in a very safe part of the world at the moment, but anything can happen at any moment. The possibility for anything to happen does exist. So that is the truth that I need to pay attention to, ponder over, and realize in each and every moment that there's no such thing as safety. So then you're like, okay, if there's no safety, how do I live? How do I feel safe? Because feeling safe for me is very, very important. So the truth is that the true safety comes when you surrender to your divinity. So what does that mean? We all are divine beings in a human body at the moment. That is the truth. Once that divine being leaves, people are going to hold a funeral ceremony or cremate us or whatever ways they would decide to do with our body. And we get to move on. Whether you believe in an afterlife or you don't, but we all know that there's something in a human body when it leaves, we are dead. That is the divine part of us. And that divine part is always safe. No one can kill it. There's no danger for that divine part. And that divine part, to a certain extent, have chosen the kind of experience they are going to have in this lifetime. But it's coming from a very empowered place. It's coming out of being a victim in this world that has poverty going on, that has political unrest going on, that has still a pandemic going on. It's coming out of that and kind of ascending a little bit and realizing I am a divine being, and in my divinity, I am always safe. I'm always provided for. I'm always taken care of. I'm always protected. And no one can harm me in that existence of me. No one can. No one can kill a soul. Yes, we talk about, oh, it broke my soul. It's just word that we are using. It doesn't mean anything. Your soul never breaks. Or we use the words, oh, it hurts my soul. It's just our expression. Nothing hurts your soul. It exists in entirety. And that is the soul that you came here to channel the power that it has and use that power to live and create the life and the mission that you're here for. So it's time that we start connecting with that divine power that is within us, that's living through us, and that becomes our safety. Instead of the relationship becoming the safety, the bank account being the safety, the perfect home, the perfect body being your safety, or the part of the world you live in being your safety, let the divinity within you become your safety. Now, this concept is going to take a long time, depending on where you are in your personal development journey. If you're pretty advanced, you might be able to just grasp it right away. You'd be like, oh, okay, that is what I've been looking for. If you have not entertained this idea before, if you have not heard this idea before, you might be like, okay, what does that mean? Sit down every single day for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, close your eyes and realize there is a power moving through your body right now. And that power is the real you. That is your real safety. That power is always going to be here for you, whether you're bankrupt, whether you are just, went through a breakup, you're alone, whether you're hungry, whether you're thirsty, whether you have a kid or you don't. All the outer things that we place our safety in, no matter you have anything or not, this power is always going to be with you. You can always use that power to create whatever you want to create. It is very powerful. It does have the same power as our creator does. Same divine power you have access to. So what we are doing right now, we are bringing our focus from outward to inward, so deep that you just stay focused within you. Okay, how can I connect with this power? When you do that every single day, the next time when your mother-in-law would call, it's not going to faze you because you're so focused on yourself, on this divine being living through you, that it doesn't matter what she's gonna say. It doesn't matter the kind of boss you're gonna have. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what your spouse is talking about, because now you have become the center of the universe. And you're not going to feel safe, my friends, unless you become the center of your own universe. As long as you're looking outward, you're gonna be spinning, you're gonna stay lost. But once you bring your focus inward, you get to live from a different standpoint, from a different place, from a higher place, and you get to think from a higher place as well. Now, that is if you're ready to take off and you ready to up level how you're showing up, how you're embodying the safety that exists within you. Because that power is within you, that is your safety. Realizing, pondering over that. But let's say if you're not 100% there, what is another thing that you can use? So another thing you can use while you work your way up to connecting with that power that lives within you, your true safety is your ability to choose. So now we have to master what we are choosing in each and every moment. Now, this piece also has to do with psychological safety. So let's say your mother-in-law called and you're going in a panic mode, right? In that moment, ask yourself, what do I want to choose to feel, to be, to do? First of all, when you ask a question, you stop the spinning thought that is going on, like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. You stop it. If your thought is a train going in a circle, you put a block in front of it when you ask a question. And also, you're activating this part of you. This part cannot answer question. This part can answer question because now you have to think critically. So you ask yourself, how do I want to react? Who do I want to be? What do I want to feel? And once you focus on all those different things, you get to choose something very different. And once you start paying attention to what am I choosing, what am I choosing, what am I choosing, you are reprogramming your unconscious mind from being stuck into your childhood when that safety pattern was created. It served that little child. It's not serving you in your 30s or in your 40s or wherever you are. But in this moment, when you ask yourself, who am I choosing to be right now? You are rewiring that part of you. You're rewiring your unconscious mind. Over time, this is going to become your new way of living. And you might think, okay, Alia, this is a very easy way to do it. I would share a personal experience with you. In August 21 is the first time I had a panic attack while driving on a New York City highway at night on a weekend, lots of traffic, and not a good time to have a panic attack. And I was able to override it using all the physical things that I showed you because I knew exactly what's going on. I do work with clients who do have panic attacks. So that is, I would say, part of my specialty. But that was the first time I was experiencing it. So I got home and I talked to my mentor, whenever the next time we were meeting. And he was able to guide me to, he said, what was the trigger? You have to figure out what was the trigger, what was the thought that went with it. It took me 3 to 4 months to figure out what was the trigger. The trigger was a thought that I lost my family because this was after divorce. So it would happen every time I am surrounded by family, whether it's my family, other family, we are eating Pakistani food. That is my traditional food. Maybe there's Pakistani music playing. It won't happen if I'm hanging out with a non-Pakistani couple and eating non-Pakistani food. Because my ex-husband was also Pakistani, is also Pakistani. So that is what my mind was doing. You lost your family. That is fear. That is lack. It was triggering every single thing within me. So what was the solution that my mentor told me? He said, okay, now we have found it. So now you're going to write on a piece of paper, I made a choice. I can make another choice. I can create a family again. Just 3 sentences. So the deal was I'll wake up every single day. That is the card I'll read first thing as soon as I wake up, open my eyes. I did that. I will say maybe for a month religiously. I did that. No more panic attacks after that. I can hang out I was at my ex-husband's wedding and I did not have a panic attack. That is how powerful these tools are if you're ready to implement them. I was able to create that deeper level of safety within me that seeing him getting married to somebody else did not trigger me at all. In fact, I showed up with so much love and joy and happiness for both of them. And I am really good friends with both of them. So this is the power of creating that safety within you. I just felt like to share this personal story with you to inspire you that what you can create within you when you connect, you go inward, you connect with that power that lives within you is magical. People are going to be blown away what you've been able to create in your life when you create that inner safety. So with that, we are ending our today's topic, and I am sending lots of love to you guys, and I will see you next Thursday. Same thing. If you have any question, reach out to me. If you're watching a random YouTube video, just Google Alia the Love Coach. You'll be able to find me. And I am here for you if you want to just have a conversation. I'm also here for you if you say this is the time for you to take on this journey to create that deeper level of safety within you. So I'm sending you lots of love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.